Before we start today's video, I just want to let you know you can get your free ebook today and save $8. Simply subscribe and visit denmarkexplained.com/free to download your exclusive copy, packed with insights, tips, and stories you cannot find anywhere else. It is our way of saying thank you for joining our community. Do not miss out. Click that subscribe button and start exploring today. Let us get into the video. What the November 18, 2025 vote really means for you in Denmark. Imagine waking up in Denmark on Election Day, November 18, 2025, and realizing that you have a voice in shaping the municipality you live in. If you're planning to move to Denmark or travel here for an extended stay, this is a moment you might not have thought mattered. In this video, I'll show you why this local vote isn't just for Danes. It touches everything from your commute to your children's schooling. Stay tuned, because later, I'll share a key practical tip just for internationals living here. Most people moving to Denmark underestimate how much the local election decides your childcare options, your transport costs, even whether your neighborhood grows or shrinks. Not understanding this system can literally cost you time, money, and opportunities. Before we continue, consider helping us out by hitting like, subscribe, and share this video. Remember, you can buy our ebooks on denmarkexplained.com/products or click the link in the description. Sustainability and green energy. Viking heritage. Welfare system. New Nordic food. Welcome to Denmark Explained. Your front row seat to hidden gems, quirky traditions, and powerful stories that make Danish culture truly unforgettable. Election Day on the 18th of November is more than a date on the calendar. It's the moment when residents help shape how their local community will look and feel over the next 4 years. For anyone planning to live, work, or settle here, understanding this day gives you a major advantage. Many newcomers are surprised to learn that this election influences everyday life far more than national politics. We'll return to why that matters shortly. Across all municipalities and regions, voters choose the people who will make decisions about schools, childcare, public transport, housing plans, and local services. These aren't distant political topics. They decide the quality of the streets you walk on, the parks your children use, and even how newcomers are welcomed. If you're thinking about moving, you might want to pay attention to who gets elected, because their choices will shape your neighborhood. Another key point is who's allowed to vote. Locals aren't the only ones with influence. Many international residents can also participate, as long as they meet the residency requirements. That surprises people who arrive here without realizing they already have a voice. We'll talk more about that later in the video. Turnout for this election is traditionally high, showing how seriously people take their local community. When so many take part, the outcome becomes a real reflection of what residents want, and that can be a valuable insight if you're deciding where to live. By the end of this chapter, think about how this one day quietly shapes almost every part of daily life. Later, we'll explore how the issues voted on connect directly to your experience as a newcomer. Before you cast a ballot or watch from the sidelines, you must know what you're voting on, and that starts with the issues. Now that you know why this election matters, let's look at the topics shaping the vote. These issues give you a clear picture of what residents care about, and if you're planning to move, what daily life might feel like. One of the most discussed subjects is immigration and integration. Communities want to understand how newcomers are welcomed, supported, and included. If you're thinking of relocating, this becomes especially relevant, and we'll return to this point later. Another major issue is climate and sustainability. Local councils decide everything from bicycle routes to energy efficiency in public buildings. These choices may sound small, but they influence the comfort and cost of your everyday routine. Younger voters in particular are pushing for greener solutions. Housing is also a big concern, especially in bigger towns where demand is rising. When local leaders debate affordability and construction, they're shaping your future neighborhood. If you've ever worried about finding a place to live, you'll see why this topic keeps coming up. Public transport, childcare, and school quality also sit at the center of local discussions. These services are managed at the municipal level, meaning the people elected on this day decide how reliable, accessible, and well-funded they will be. We'll explore how these decisions affect newcomers in the next chapter. Many residents feel traditional parties no longer represent their needs, creating a desire for change. This shift influences how people vote and what kind of leadership emerges. By understanding the topics driving this election, you get a preview of what your everyday life could look like. Next, let's explore what actually happens on election day and what you can expect to see. If you're enjoying this video, consider helping us out. Hit like, subscribe, and share it with others who want to understand Denmark better. And don't forget, you can explore our ebooks at denmarkexplained.com, products, or via the link in the description. We've covered why and what. Now let's walk you through how election day works in practice in Denmark, especially useful if you're new or still settling in. Now that we've covered the issues shaping the election, let's walk through what actually happens on election day. Understanding the rhythm of this day is incredibly helpful, especially if you're planning to live here or want to see how local democracy functions up close. Many newcomers are surprised at how calm, organized, and community-focused the atmosphere is. You'll see why in a moment. Every eligible resident receives a voting card before the election. This card tells you exactly where to go because each person must vote at their assigned polling station. If you've never experienced this system before, don't worry, we'll touch more on how these stations work shortly. When you arrive, you present your card and sometimes an ID. From there, you're guided to a private booth where you choose your candidates. The ballot includes local parties and individual names, allowing you to support both broader priorities and specific representatives. The voting process is simple and quick, but its impact lasts 4 years, and we will return to that part later. Throughout the day, you might see families, students, and seniors all participating. Election day here has a quiet energy, almost like a community ritual. Turnout is usually high, which reflects how strongly people value having a say in local decisions. Once polls close, vote counting begins immediately. Because the system uses proportional representation, even smaller groups can gain seats. This helps shape councils that reflect local diversity, something many new residents appreciate once they understand it. Next, we'll explore what all this means for your life if you're moving, staying long-term, or simply trying to understand how the community around you is built. We've seen why, what, and how. Finally, let's talk about you, living, traveling, or moving to Denmark, and how this election affects your experience. So what does all this mean for you? Whether you're planning to move, staying long-term, or trying to understand how daily life is shaped here? The short answer is, quite a lot. Local elections influence almost every part of your everyday experience, often in ways newcomers don't see at first. In fact, many people only realize the impact after they've been living here for a while, and we'll touch on that again shortly. Local councils decide the quality of schools, childcare, and youth services. If you have a family or hope to start one, the choices made during this election will shape the support available to you. Public transport is another major area. Everything from bus routes to service frequency comes from local priorities, and understanding this can help you choose where to live. We'll circle back to why this matters for newcomers in just a moment. Housing plans, zoning rules, and new construction projects are also decided locally. This affects what kind of homes are available and how affordable they'll be. If you're searching for a place to live, the outcome of this election becomes more relevant than you might expect. Integration services are another key factor. These programs help newcomers settle in, access language support, and navigate local systems. Knowing how your municipality handles this can make your move smoother. Even public spaces, parks, community centers, libraries are shaped by local policy. And once the election is over, newly formed coalitions determine leadership style and long-term direction. By understanding these decisions, you'll feel more confident choosing a community that matches your needs. Next, it's time to explore your next steps and how to stay informed beyond today's election. So what does this tell us about Denmark? That behind every small country lies big ideas, deep traditions, and stories worth knowing. If you enjoyed this journey, hit like, subscribe, and explore more fascinating stories about life, culture, and the real Denmark, only on Denmark Explained.